The next element of art we are discussing is color. If you have done a lesson about color already this year, take today as an opportunity to review what you know. In the middle is the picture of the color wheel. This is a system to help artists organize colors and know how to make the most out of what colors they use in their artwork. Click the video in the bottom right to review the primary and secondary colors. For your project today, we are taking notes on the color wheel system. On a new piece of paper, draw out each section of the picture to the left, and if you are able, fill in the colors accordingly. If you do not have colors, write the name of the color instead. If you are a kinder, first, or second grade student, you are only required to fill in the primary, secondary, and color wheel boxes. But if you feel like a color scientist today and you're up to the challenge, you are welcome to follow along as well. Watch this video to be introduced to some of the more advanced terms for the color wheel system. In the video you just watched, it discussed these three words that we will be focusing on today. We'll be focusing on the word complementary. Complementary colors are colors that are opposite of each other on the color wheel. Then we will move on to analogous. Analogous colors are the colors that are made when you mix two colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. That is a primary and a secondary color. Monochromatic is the range of colors you get when you add white, black, and gray. Sounds familiar to another element of art. But first, let's dive into complementary colors. Complementary colors are colors that are opposite on the color wheel. If you look at the screen, you will notice that I put up some familiar logos. You'll notice that a lot of groups will use complementary colors in their logo to make it stand out. The secret to complementary colors is that they make each other brighter when they're next to each other. If you put a purple next to a yellow, it makes the yellow pop. That's why the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Lakers have chosen their team colors to be yellow and purple. If you look at the Fanta logo, you'll notice that orange, the opposite of blue, also pop when they are next to each other. That is why they decided to use it for a soda logo, to make it seem more exciting and attractive to the consumer. Finally, if you look at red, what is the color that is the opposite to it? If you'll look at the Gucci or the Mountain Dew logos, you'll notice that they chose those colors because the green makes the red pop. Think about the holiday season. When winter rolls around, do you notice some more advertisements that are green and red? The reason they're called complementary colors is because these colors make each other stand out. They pop when they're next to each other. Think about how you feel when someone gives you a compliment. You shine a little brighter. Think of it that way. If you put yellow next to purple, purple will complement yellow and make it shine brighter. If you put orange next to blue, blue will complement orange and make it shine brighter. And if you put green next to red, it will complement the red and make it shine brighter. So here's a review for all of my students, but especially for kinder, first, and second. First, let's go over the three primary colors. These are the colors that are needed to make all the colors in the rainbow. First, we'll need red, then yellow, then blue. Fill those in your primary box. Then, fill them in on the color wheel. Make sure you leave a white pie slice between each primary color. Because when you mix the primary colors together, you will get the secondary colors. Can you guess a secondary color? What color do you think you will get when you mix red and yellow? The answer would be orange. So that is one of the secondary colors. What color will you get if you mix red and blue? The answer is purple. So that is another secondary color. And finally, if you mix blue and yellow, you would get green. That is the final secondary color. At this point, Kinder and first and second grade students, if you would like to stop for your art lesson today, I challenge you to instead make a drawing using only primary or only secondary colors. Or if you feel like a color scientist and you're up to the challenge, continue watching this video to learn more advanced terms for the color wheel system. So now we're going to fill in our complementary colors box. What color is the complementary color to red? What color is opposite to red on the color wheel? The answer is green. That is the color that will make each other pop. Let's move on to the next primary color, blue. What is opposite of blue on the color wheel? The answer would be orange. And finally, the opposite color of yellow is purple. Color in those parts of your notes. Here's a reminder that when you are looking at complementary colors, one of them will always be a primary color and the other one will always be a secondary color. And it's the color that you get when you mix the other two primary colors. Let's move on to analogous. Analogous colors are colors that you get when you mix two colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So if you were to mix blue and green, you would get a blue-green. If you were to mix yellow and orange, you would get a yellow-orange. Let's look at some examples here. So if we were to mix together blue and green, on your paper I want you to get one blue crayon and one green crayon, but only those two colors. Fill in 1/3 of the pie blue, then 1/3 of the pie green. Then color the middle section with both colors very lightly. Do you see how you get a teal or a blue-green color? Let's choose two others. If you mix green and yellow with the same method, let's see what it looks like. Yellow in one pie slice, green in the other, and mixing both together in the middle. Do you see how it's darker than the yellow but lighter than the green? Finally, I will show you red and orange next to each other. Do you see how red and orange next to each other made a darker orange but lighter red? And finally, we will discuss monochromatic colors. Monochromatic is the range of colors you get when you mix white, black, and gray. Did you figure out what art element it also sounds like? If you said value, you're correct. Value is how light or dark a color can be. Well, when we're talking about the color wheel and choosing a color, we're calling it the monochromatic scale. So, if you are using monochromatic colors, you are adding black, gray, or white. When you are getting a shade, you will add black. When you are getting a different tone, you add gray. And if you are getting a different tint, you add white. So we have shade where you would add black, tone where you would add gray, and then tint where you would add white. But first, I want you to choose your favorite color and color very lightly each of the 9 boxes. Once you have the 9 boxes filled, color very lightly with black, then medium, and then as hard as you can for the section of shade. Then do the same thing with gray. Then the same thing with white. If your favorite color is a darker color, the white will show up well, but if it's light, like a light blue, light green, or yellow, it won't turn up as well, so you'll have to color extra hard. Do you see the value range in this monochromatic color scale? Finally, while you fill in these notes, these are some recommended videos to help you memorize and review the primary and secondary colors. But if you are feeling advanced, like an advanced color scientist, here are some great videos to help you learn about the advanced terms of the color wheel. If you have a question about today's lesson, you may email me at any time at miranda.smith@pisd.edu, or you can call me at my work phone at 469-752-1954 during school hours. However, now that we are back to face-to-face learning, there is a chance I'll be teaching a class when you call. If that is the case, I will answer the phone to take down your name, grade level, and your phone number so that I can call you back to answer your question.